Hey guys, it's Bookish Vegan here or Natalia, and today I'm doing a video I've been meaning to do for the past couple months, basically since I got my results, and it is my university experience for my first year. So if you don't know, because I've already done a semester 1 experience, I will leave a link to that on the screen and down below. But yeah, I study law at university. I've just finished my first year, and in around a month, I'm going back to do my second year. I still don't know if I'm going to be doing 3 or 4 years because we get to pick. If you do 4 years, you do a placement. You can move out the country, I believe, or you can just do a year-long placement somewhere in England. And yeah, so I'm going to be discussing what modules I studied for my first year of law, what grades I got, some of my tips and tricks, how I studied and how the modules were structured, just everything you might want to know if you are thinking of studying law, or if you're just kind of curious to see. You might be studying a different subject but you still want to see how law is studied while at my university anyway. So yeah, let's just get on into the video. So all the modules I studied, I'm going to split into semesters. So in semester 1 I studied constitutional and administrative law, English legal system, and law study. Law study was only a 10 credit module, so it wasn't very interesting because we didn't actually learn law. It was more about how you study law, and that was definitely my least favorite module in semester 1, but my favorite one was definitely constitutional and administrative law. It was just so interesting because we get to learn about the English institution and how it's unwritten, and it's just super interesting. And I also did the best in that module, but that's because I actually read the textbook. So yeah. And then in semester 2 I studied contract law, which was my biggest credit module. Usually they're around 20, but this one was 30, so it was a bit hectic. Then I did nature of law, and then I did personal development. So yeah, personal development was 10 credit module, and that was my least favorite because I had to do a group presentation. Don't like working in groups, I'm a solo learner. But my favorite in the second one was definitely nature of law. Contract law was difficult, I struggled, but nature of law was super interesting. It was philosophical. I don't think I'm the best philosophy student, but it was interesting to learn the nature of law. So yeah, those are all the modules I studied in the first year. We didn't get to pick any. I know some unis allow you to pick, but I think in my uni we get to pick in third year or your final year, so it depends if you're doing a 3-year or 4-year course. So yeah, now I'll tell you my grades that I got so you can see how well I did. And yeah, I asked on Instagram if you guys wanted me to talk about my grades, and you said yes. So I also find it interesting when I watch university videos and they talk about their grades. So in English legal system I got 66%, and that was a 20 credit module. Constitutional and administrative law I got 68, and that was a 20 credit module. In law study I got 54.25, and that was a 20 credit module. That was just coursework based. I'll talk about how the courses were structured later. Contract law I got 52.25%, and that was a 30 credit module. Nature of law I got 63%, and that was a 20 credit module. And personal development I got 63%, and that was a 10 credit module. So as you can see, I'm not the worst student, but I'm also not the highest achiever. I've always been an average student throughout my whole educational career, whatever you want to call it. I've never cared about striving to be the best. I just want to be the best with myself, not with others. So yeah, I usually am that one person that doesn't compare grades with others, but I'm really happy with how I did for my first year. It was fine. Definitely semester 2 I struggled because we only had basically 1 week break, and then semester 2 started. So basically I think that's how it works with all unis in Britain. The year is split into 2 semesters, and you kind of get the winter break and the Easter holidays, so they're both 3 weeks long as study break. So you don't do exams before you go on Christmas Christmas holiday. You basically study during your holidays, so basically kind of didn't have a holiday, but I still relaxed a bit. And yeah, then you take the exams, and then sometimes you get a week off depending on how your exams are structured, and then you start on the next week. So yeah, I kind of wish we had a longer break between the semesters to kind of like rejuvenate, is that what it's called, you know, relive, bring ourselves back from the dead, because you basically feel exhausted after the exams, especially law exams, because they are, you don't have a lot of them, but they are tough because they are long, but then the time also flies by. So yeah, overall, as my grade for the first year, you have to calculate this yourself, so hopefully, fingers crossed, I did it right. But for my first year, I got 60.2%, which is an upper second, I believe, and that equivalates to a B. I don't think you can get an A star at university, but I got a B. That's usually what I get for my GCSEs and for my A levels, so I'm pretty happy about that. Your first year doesn't count, but my lecturer, one of my lecturers, one of my favorite ones, he told us that if you're in your 60s, you are gonna fly through the course, so I'm really happy about that. So now let's get on to the structure of the modules. So some of them are structured a little bit differently, but they are basically pretty much all the same. So the exam-based modules had 3 to 4 hour lectures, like in total over a week, and 1 hour seminar, so each. So you only got to really ask questions once for an hour with like a small group of people. So if you don't know lectures, there can be like hundreds of people in a lecture, and it's just the lecturer talking at you. Whereas in seminars, they are basically divided into groups. I believe the most people you can have in a seminar group is 20, but half of them don't show up, so you end up being a really small group if you do go to them. Definitely recommend you go to them and do the work, because I know my friends that do English, they don't really have to prepare for their seminars, but as a law student you do, and then you kind of like say the answers in your seminars, and you can ask questions if you have trouble, blah blah blah. I didn't go to all my seminars, especially like the exam based ones, because I had exam lectures, so yeah, I was a bit of a bad student, especially in semester 2, because I was just sick of it. But definitely go to all your seminars, especially the ones that the lecturer hints at are important, because they do that, I believe, in all universities. Well, they do that at mine, so I'm really happy about that, because you can just ask questions and kind of like project your knowledge onto the seminar tutor, and then they tell you if you got the information right or not. And then the coursework based modules had like an hour to 2 hours a week of lectures and 1 hour seminars. So yeah, at my university, usually our lecturers handed out booklets, especially one of my favorite lecturers. I had him both for nature of law and constitutional and administrative law, so I kind of spent like the whole year with him. He handed out like really thick booklets with like the bare bones of everything he was going through, so that was really nice, because all you needed was a pen and to bring that booklet for the lecture, and then all you did was write extra information, and you could use a different colored pen and write extra information from the textbooks. I also was really happy that I went to my university, because we had the textbooks given to us, so I wasn't worried about getting the wrong edition, so I didn't have any extra paying to do for textbooks, because they just provided me with them. And it's kind of weird, because usually when you pay for them, you are going to use them, because you're like, it's a waste of money if I don't use them. But I was a bit bad, and I only in total read one whole textbook. That was for constitutional and administrative law, because I found it so interesting, and my lecturer actually wrote the textbook, so I just really liked it, because he basically had the same way of writing as he was speaking in a lecture, if you know what I mean. So I really liked constitutional and administrative law. That was definitely my favorite course or module that I did in my first year of university. So yeah, and as I mentioned before, for seminars we usually had pre-set questions that we had to find out the answers to, and then bring them in and then say the answers in our seminars. And yeah, I definitely recommend doing the questions, because even though you are going to go through the answers in the seminar, it's a really nice way to kind of like drill in the answers, because you're redoing it, you're kind of going through it, and then you can add extra information that someone else in your group found or your seminar tutor told you. So yeah, in law school, or I think it's basically basically any university, I only had 11 hours of teaching done at me, so with seminars and lectures a week. So it is mostly you have to do everything yourself, but it's fine if you're like an independent learner. It could be difficult for people that need extra help. The lecturers and seminar tutors, you can always email them. They have like their teaching hours, so you can go and talk to them. You can schedule in a meeting if you're confused. I never did that, but I definitely do recommend doing that. I know one of my friends that I met at university definitely did that and she felt better. She also was really good at developing good relationships with our seminar tutors. She was just great. She's very talkative. I was kind of jealous of that, but yeah, I kind of regret not asking more questions. But I don't know, I still really liked all my seminar tutors. It takes me a while to warm up to people, and like 1 hour seminars don't help that. I like having a whole structure, but I'm still glad I could do most of the work myself because, as I said, I'm an independent learner. I love doing everything myself. So yeah, my first semester I definitely spent more time at university because we have like the hub place where you can kind of like socialize. We also had the library, but I didn't go too many times there because it was always full, especially during exams. So yeah, I think the only time I met up the library was with my group in semester 2 when we were doing our presentations together. But yeah, in semester 1 I spent a lot of time at the hub where you can like chill, you can do your work. I used to like watch Outlander even though I didn't get far, and I used to watch TV shows there because I had Netflix and I also had Amazon Prime. It was just so much fun. Then I would also, if I had like hour to 2 hour breaks, because it takes me an hour to commute back and forth. Sometimes I would come home for lunch if I had like a 2 to 3 hour break between seminars and lectures, but usually I would just stay at university, do some of my seminar prep or rewrite my lecture notes if I was confused. So yeah, it was fun, but I'm definitely going to try in the second year to stay more at university just to kind of have a good home to university balance. So my home, my room that I'm in right now, because I don't move out for university, I stayed home, can be for relaxing and doing other things, and then university is where I'm going to do most of my university work. So yeah, and I kind of also recommend staying at university when you're doing your work because it will motivate you. When you're seeing other people, even in the hub, even though it was a social place, there were still loads of people doing work, and definitely like seeing someone else do work makes you want to do work. And yeah, that's I think one of the problems I had in semester 2. I spent so much time at home, I didn't want to do anything, whereas in semester 1 I was very motivated because I was surrounded by all these other university students. So definitely stay on campus. If you live outside of campus or at home, definitely recommend that. So now to exams and revision. So I was very happy that I had longer exams and less exams in each semester because I only had, out of the 3 modules, 2 exam based ones. I know that's going to change, I think next year maybe, or 3rd year or 4th year, but we'll see. I only had 1 exam that was 3 hours long for each module. So in total I had 2 exams that were 3 hours long that I had to study for. I would rather study a lot for 1 exam than have many little exams and just get all my notes confused. So I was very blessed for that. And yeah, my 3 hour exams consisted of multiple choice questions. Not always, but majority of them did have multiple choice questions and essay questions. I believe it was 2 essay questions and 10 multiple choice questions, especially in my first semester. And in semester 2 for contract law, I had 3 essays. 1 was a problem question and 2 were essays that I had to complete in 3 hours. So that was definitely a struggle, but I still am so proud of myself that I didn't blank and I always was writing till like the last minute. So really happy about that. So yeah, I was definitely one of those people that stayed for the full 3 hours. You can leave 30 minutes after the exam has started and 30 minutes before the exam finishes, but between those 30 minutes you couldn't leave. I saw some people leaving early and I started panicking, but definitely just focus on your work and don't look at anyone else. I did that in semester 2, and I know I didn't have the greatest grades, but literally I didn't look up until like the last 15 minutes, so I couldn't leave, so I just sat there. But I looked around and there was like no one next to me. I was like, where did everyone go? But yeah, I think it's a good thing if you're just writing and writing in your exams, because you are gonna get a good grade. You have so much to write about, you will pass. So yeah, I'm not one of those people that is the greatest at revision. That's why I don't do any videos based on revision, but I think I'm going to try and do those in year 2. But how I basically revised is I rewrote my lecture notes. I basically write them by hand in the lectures, but then I would come home and type them up, add extra information, and then sometimes I would condense the notes by hand after I did that. So I definitely did that for the topics that I knew would come up on the exam. So I definitely recommend rewriting your notes, because sometimes you misspell stuff or sometimes you don't finish off your notes. So if you remember that you haven't finished off your notes after the lecture, definitely go straight home or straight to the library or someplace and finish those notes off, because guaranteed at the end of the day you are going to forget it. So definitely finish off your notes always. I also recommend rewriting the work that you did for your seminars, especially the ones that you either had trouble with or you knew are very important and might come up in the exam. And also condense all the information onto like one page. Definitely like condensing notes and remembering all the extra information as you're looking at the bare bones definitely helps, because that's basically what you have to do in the exam. I also definitely recommend making a plan in the exam so you kind of know and you don't forget everything. That's what I did for like the first 5 to 10 minutes or even 15 minutes. I planned out all my essays, because that really helps, because sometimes when you like write the first essay you kind of might forget some points and you kind of want it to be nicely structured. So definitely recommend that. Also, you have to remember cases and statutes for law exams, so definitely write them down. You don't have to remember the dates, but write the names of the cases down. Usually they're really easy to remember sometimes because they're really weird. Like I remember Cheeseman, which was a crazy case, but they have like weird names. So yeah, and definitely one last tip for revision: reread the chapter in the textbook before the exam. It really helps, and yeah, that's what I did, and I think it really helped me. So my overall experience of my first year at university, some people might argue that I didn't get the full experience of a university student because I stayed at home, but I feel like I made good friends that I'm hopefully going to definitely spend more time with next year. And I still really am glad I stayed at home, because sometimes when I'm like stressed, I don't have to worry about food or going out grocery shopping, because I know my mom's gonna do that, even though I do still go with her everywhere. And it's just nice to know that I don't have to worry about everything. So even though that does make me lazy a bit, but I'm definitely glad I stayed at home, and you're definitely not gonna miss out on a lot. You can still go out to parties and just call an Uber home or a taxi. You are gonna be fine. So yeah, I didn't socialize too much at university, but I did make a small close group of friends. They are basically all the people in my seminars, so it was nice because if I missed a seminar because I was ill or I didn't want to go or I had something else, then I could ask them if I had any questions. And I did make one good friend that I was lucky enough to be in a seminar with, and hopefully, I don't know, I'm kind of like, I hope my groups change for my seminars, but at the same time I don't want them to change because I really like the people in my seminars. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm definitely gonna do a vlog of my first week back. We'll see. But yeah, I'm glad I made at least that one friend I can always talk about everything. You definitely need someone to complain with. Even though you do have other friends that might be studying other courses, you need that one friend that's studying the same course as you, so you can just like complain about everything. And I basically sit with her in lectures and seminars, so find that one good friend and stick close to them, don't let them go. And yeah, hopefully in the second year I open up to people, because I'm kind of like just used to university now. Definitely the night before I'm gonna be like stressed as hell, because I always am, but I'm still looking forward to my second year because I know how it kind of works now. So yeah, in semester 1 I feel like I did have a lot of opportunities to socialize, but I didn't take them. I kind of like ran away from them because one, I had to get home because it was dark like at 6 p.m. Sometimes I had lectures lectures that ended at 6 p.m. So definitely be prepared for that. But I don't know, I'm just socially awkward and I kind of don't like opening up to people. But in semester 1 I definitely had more fun. In semester 2 everything became stressful. No one wanted to kind of hang out. Well, they did, but I always run away from people when I'm stressed. So definitely in year 2, hopefully I spend more time with people from university. So in semester 1, I pretty much had a healthy routine down. I wasn't overly stressed, but I was still stressed because it was like my first semester and I was scared. But semester 2 definitely drained me physically, mentally, and emotionally. I kind of stopped working out and I definitely gained weight from like eating and stress, because some people do that. Some people lose weight, some people gain weight. Definitely gained weight and I kind of became a slob. I didn't want to do anything. So yeah, I need to really work on that. I really need to have everything balanced, because if you're working out and being healthy and taking regular study breaks and not spending too much time on your laptop, like watching Netflix or YouTube, then you will feel so much better mentally, physically, and emotionally. So that is definitely something I recommend. Don't abandon everything for your university work, because you need that time to relax but also take care of yourself. So as my second year does count towards my overall degree, I would definitely be spending much more time and my focus on my university work, because I do really want to get a 2-1 or a first. That would be great, but 2-1 is fine. I just really want to become a lawyer, so I need a good degree, and I definitely recommend staying on campus. That's what I'm going to do next year, hopefully, and not avoid my work till the last minute, because in semester 1 I had a great schedule worked out. Semester 2 I didn't do everything last minute, but I didn't have that balance as I mentioned before. So yeah, I'm really excited for second year because some of my modules sound way more interesting. I believe there's one on property law, which if you didn't know, I want to become a conveyancing solicitor, I believe. So I really need to be good at contract law, which I kind of hated, but at the same time I understand it, so that's good. And I didn't get the worst grade in it. And then I really want to learn property law. I think it's called property law or land law. I really want to see that. I would love to work in a real estate agent office. I want to get into the real estate, so hopefully I enjoyed that. And yeah, I just am excited for second year. I want to see how I balance everything and how everything's going to work out. And yeah, oh yeah, I'm also really excited for criminal law because it sounds super interesting, and apparently everyone says you're going to be grossed out because you're going to see some weird photos, like crime scenes. So I kind of am excited about that because I love crime TV shows. So this is going to be a really interesting module. I don't know if those two modules are in the same semester or if one is in semester 1 and semester 2. We'll see. And yeah, hopefully they don't disappoint, because contract law definitely disappointed and I thought it was going to be interesting. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Tell me how your university experience went, if you've gone to university or are in university, as I would love to know. Everyone has different experiences, so it's just pretty interesting to see a unique experience, because everyone has unique experiences. Or tell me in the comments below if you're planning on going to university. Have you applied? What do you think you're going to study if you're not studying law? But probably you are going to be studying law if you clicked on this video. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed learning about my experience, and hopefully this hasn't like pushed you away from law, because law is really interesting. It's what governs our society, and it's just really interesting because it's in your daily life. So I don't know, I'm really glad I study law, and I can't wait to continue studying law in my 2 to 3 years that I have left. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.